In this video, I want to talk about everything that is wrong with a new update for Red Dead Online. So about a week ago, Rockstar released the eagerly anticipated update for Red Dead Online, and for the most part, the community seemed really happy with what was included. The character roles, new ability cards, new PvP modes, and so much more has actually got the Red Dead community satisfied, it seems. Despite the fact that Rockstar have seemingly done very well on this update, there are still a few issues in the game that, in my opinion, need to be addressed. In my Discord server, I asked you lot what issues you had with the game, whether there's anything included or not included that had frustrated you. And I had a fair few messages back, so I'll take a look at these during this video. If you want to be included in some of my videos in the future, then click the top line of the description to join my Discord server. There are channels in there for finding a posse and for multiple games as well as Red Dead, so it's definitely worth joining if you can. I'm going to occasionally pop up in there and ask everyone's opinions, so be sure to join the server if you're interested in giving me your feedback. But let's start with some issues that I've got with the update. My list isn't really long like it probably would have been back when we got that drip feed update at the start of the year, but regardless, let's start with a quality of life thing more than anything else, and that's ability card related. Unfortunately, for some reason, Rockstar still don't allow you to edit your ability card loadout when you're in the lobbies between PvP matches. And when you're waiting for the game to start, this would be a really handy thing to do. Say I feel like moving from slow and steady to paint it black, I have to wait till I'm actually in the game to change these cards. It's not a big deal, but it still eats into your game time. As well as this, you still can't buy special ammo in the game lobby, which means that if you want to top this up, you need to leave that lobby, go into free roam, get the ammo, and then load up into a new PvP match. It's just hassle, really. And I feel like Rockstar could just make a few minor changes to make things a bit more slick. My next points here are around hunting, and the first is that the skinning is still really slow for certain animals. It's so frustrating when you start skinning a bird and you see a whole flock of pelicans go over your head, but you're stuck in that animation and you can't get out of it. Rockstar have massively sped up the act of looting bodies, and even though it looks a little bit unrealistic sometimes, it's a positive change because it speeds up the gameplay. And I think the next step should be speeding up the skinning of animals. Or even if you're skinning a bird, like when you're picking up like a dead frog or like a crow, it allows you to walk around. If you're able to do that, walk around while you're skinning a bird, that would be really positive as well. You might notice here that a lot of these issues are quite minor, and my next issue is another minor one. Whistling for your horse while skinning. Now, this act used to be possible. You could whistle for your horse while skinning and it would come straight over, despite the fact that your character wouldn't make that whistling sound. Rockstar obviously saw this as a bug, so now when you whistle for your horse while skinning, not only do you not make the noise, but now it doesn't even come over to you. This is another one of these things that just really slows everything down and doesn't make sense to me. It's such a simple thing to add in, and it's possible in the real world, so why not in this context? Okay, so let's now move on to what you lot said in your Discord messages to me. The first one I want to look at is from Husky, whose first reply to my message was about glitches being the thing that for him is one of the worst parts of the update. And of course, I've got to agree here that this is a massive problem. I'm sure you've all seen videos in the past from a content creator called Stone. The amount of glitches that him and his team have found is absolutely mad. And I think it actually reflects really badly on Rockstar, the fact that people are able to find these glitches so easily and there's so many of them to find. There was one that allowed you to repeatedly donate a carcass to crypts, which kept giving you XP constantly. You could just sit there and spam X or A on Xbox and just be selling this carcass over and over and over again, sending your trader level just through the roof. Rockstar jumped on this and patched it really quickly, but the fact that this is even possible, it just seems like really bad game design. It's like they rushed it to get it out as soon as they could. Igor messaged that he's got some real issues with setting up camps. He wrote that every time that he tries to make a camp, it constantly glitches out and he has to try over and over again until Crips actually sets it up. And apparently it took him 10 minutes once just to set his camp up. Of course, this is a problem. This is actually something that I've come across as well. For some reason, when you're trying to set the camp up, sometimes it just doesn't pay attention, and you have to keep trying until it actually accepts you setting the camp up. Joblobber wrote a lot of stuff in his message to me, and the first thing is that other posse members can't store animal pelts and carcasses in the hunting wagon. This to me seems really bizarre. So if you're in a posse and you're all hunting together, say you're working on one hunting wagon, then your teammates can't put their carcasses into your hunting wagon. Well, they've just got to put them on the floor and then you pick them up to put them in the wagon. That really doesn't seem like it makes sense. I can understand if a fellow player was being blocked that wasn't in your posse, because obviously they could just load it up with 1-star pelts and just troll you. But yeah, this is maybe a little change that Rockstar need to make. He's also said that if you've got fast travel vouchers, then the game makes you use them rather than letting you save them. So let's say you wanted to go from Saint Denis just to La Grasse on a fast travel, then you'd be forced to use one of these fast travel vouchers rather than saving it for like a longer trip from like Saint Denis over to Strawberry, for example. Temp896181, which I'm assuming is a temporary Discord account, that would make sense for that username. He's come in and said that what annoys him is that if you're in someone's posse, your own camp won't produce goods, which in turn promotes solo activity. This is one I didn't actually notice happening, so when you're in someone else's posse, Crips won't make any goods. And I'm not sure whether this is a bug or something that Rockstar have consciously put into the game, but that sort of really does push people away from playing in a community or in a group of people. Husky has come back in and said about hunting wagons not saving carcasses, and I imagine this gets really frustrating. Hellcat, like Joblobber, has come in with a massive paragraph on a load of stuff that he's having issues with as well. The first thing he mentioned is some of the issues that he's having with his cosmetics. So some of his clothing now appears differently to when he actually purchased it pre-update. And I imagine this is really frustrating. Another thing I've noticed actually is that the Missouri Foxtrotter looks really like a lot smaller than it did before. I know Rockstar are obviously trying to make it look maybe more realistic to what it looks like in real life. But one of the reasons that I personally purchased this horse is that it was one of the bigger ones. I've not bought an Arabian because I think they look a little bit stupid with a player sat on the back of them. They just look really small and almost like a joke horse. That's just my personal opinion on it, and that's why I've not bought one. But now the Missouri Foxtrotter is a lot closer in size to the Arabian than it ever was before. That was just one that just popped to my head then. I might be completely wrong on that. Maybe my players got bigger, but it does look like the Missouri Foxtrotter has got significantly smaller. Hellcat has also said that he's had some issues with the amount of money that you get back from doing bounties. But another issue that he's found is another bug, basically, is saddles disappearing off of horses after missions. And I've not experienced that personally. That seems like such a bizarre bug to be in the game. And I imagine, hopefully, after some updates over the next few weeks, Rockstar will address this. Although, to be fair, I wouldn't put any money on it. Joblobber also pointed out a really big issue that I feel is really harsh, to be fair, on the players that had a good streak, and that's the fact that daily streaks were reset when the update came out. So there were some people that had over 100 days worth of daily streak, and now that has been completely wiped, and they've got to start from scratch when that update came out. For me, this feels like something that should be raised with Rockstar, really. It sounds like it's a bug rather than them actively, consciously putting it into the game. It seems really harsh to me. If you've experienced this personally, then let me know in the comments. And if anyone's got some sort of solution to this, then let me know as well. Maybe you've been able to raise a ticket with Rockstar and get that daily challenge streak reinstated. So those were some of mine and some of your thoughts on what's wrong with the new update. If you've got any more that I've not covered in this video, then let me know in the comments below. And if you've got any video ideas yourself, then put those in the comments as well. I read everything, so I will see it. Sometimes I just don't have time to reply to every single person though. So I'm sorry if I don't get around to replying to your comment. But I do really appreciate all the comments I get, so do leave them below. If you'd like to find out a technique to allow you to absolutely dominate a free aim lobby, then click the video on screen now. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more like this in the future. I'm JmCooKie. Cheers.